Yes, we're back, guys. Day 2 for Affiliate World. Super excited to get inside today. I got 2 presentations. Going to be speaking out on a breakout stage, talking about some new stuff, all about Alibaba and working with suppliers and vetting them and qualifying them and all that sort of fun stuff. And then speaking on a panel about e-com as well on the main stage. So super excited to jump in. So let's go for it, and we'll see you in day 2. Can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, all good, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Something that I've found, like working with suppliers for over 12 years, is that the quality of your questions determine the quality of your results. And that goes for anything in life, but especially when working with suppliers, you have to ask them the right questions to get the best results. And a lot of people ask me for factory recommendations. They're like, hey, I'm looking for an electronics factory, I'm looking for a backpack factory, can you find one? And I can give you the best factory in the world, but if you don't ask them the right questions, you're not going to get the best results from them. So, what are those questions? What do we want to be asking those suppliers in order to get the best results? So I've got a lot that I could go through, maybe 20, but for the purpose of today, I'm just going to go over my 7 top questions to be asking. The first one is, are you a trading company or a factory? And to be honest, I work with both. It's okay to work for a trading company, it's okay to work for a factory, but I want to know who I'm working with, because a factory is much more likely to give me credit terms, a factory is much more likely to be able to produce at much higher volumes for me, negotiate better prices for me. But a trading company, if I want to do like pet products, but I don't want to deal with 10 different pet product suppliers, I just want to deal with one trading company which has got relationships with all those different suppliers, I could go to one trading company and they can source all of those on my behalf, but I want to know who I'm working with. After that, I want to ask, how many workers do you have in your factory, and how many production lines do you have in your factory? And this is just very good to get an idea of what is the scale that that factory is capable of achieving. What is their production output? So for example, if I want to test a product, if I want to try something, I just want to order maybe 500 pieces, I don't want to give them a big order, I'm much more likely to get that from a smaller factory, a factory which has maybe only got 30 workers or 50 workers, because they're quite small, they also don't mind to do the small orders. But if I find a factory which has got 2,000 workers, 50 production lines, and I'm like, hey, I just want to order 400 pieces, they won't even entertain it. So I need to know who I'm working with, and then I know where I can allocate the orders that I want to be placing, if it's a trial or if it's a big order. And then as we kind of covered before, which are the 3 main markets do you supply? So I want to know, like, are the majority of your exports going to Brazil? Are they going to the US? Are they going to Germany? Are they going to Spain? Are they going to Japan? And then within those markets, I want to know who is your biggest customers. And I'm going to find those customers. I'm going to go on their websites. I'm going to read their reviews. And I'm going to buy those samples. And I'm going to be like, is this a brand that I align with? Is this a quality standards that I also like? Because I know that my factory is capable of manufacturing for these guys. So I want to know who those people are. And on top of that, I want to know, do you supply any big box retailers? So your Walmarts, your Tesco's, your Bed Bath & Beyond, your Targets, and guys like that. And I want to know if they supply those guys, because they have the highest quality standards as well. They go in, they do proper checks. They look at that they have fire extinguishers in the factory, they have adequate lighting, that the dormitories are okay. They have very, very high standards. And also, if they supply those guys also get the products down to the lowest possible price that they can be. So once I've built up a good relationship with those manufacturers, I'll say, hey, what are you manufacturing for Target next quarter? If they're doing 100,000 units of something, well, I might develop a product which uses similar materials, so I can benefit from their economies of scale. Like, I'm not going to do the same product, but I'm going to use the same materials, and I'm going to order my materials. I'm going to place my order at the same time that they do, so I'm going to benefit from their economies of scale. And there's no way you can do that on the first order. You have to basically maybe place 2 or 3 orders, build up a little bit of leverage, build your relationship, get comfortable working with that manufacturer, and then you can really benefit from the economies of scale that they do for other customers once you know who they are. And then, have you completed any factory audits? So I know that if you supply, like Walmart will go in and do their own audits. Disney will do their own audits. The Olympics do their own audits. And that's just good for me to know that if they've supplied those big companies, that it's going to be a good supplier for me as well. And then you can also get third-party companies like Intertek and SGS and guys like that. They'll go and do third-party audits as well. And then I always ask, can you send me a copy of those certificates? And I want to read that. And then when I get those certificates, I always check the company name and the company address on that certificate and make sure it matches with the address that they show on Alibaba, so I know these are actually the same company and they've not just sent me a certificate from someone else. And then after that, I want to know, do you supply any brands selling on Amazon? And there's no right or wrong answer. It's okay if they do it, if it's okay if they don't, but I just want to know about that. So for example, if I'm selling on Amazon and they also supply customers selling on Amazon, that's good because then I know that they know it's very damaging if we go out of stock, if we get late deliveries, we get penalized, we lose ranking, and they know how important reviews are. If we have a bad batch of quality, we'll have negative reviews, we'll drop ranking, we'll lose sales, and then as a result, they'll lose orders as well. So it's very important if they're familiar with that business model, and if they don't supply anyone on Amazon, that's also okay because I know they're not supplying my competition as well. But it's good for us to understand what they're capable of. And then finally, as we looked on Alibaba, we looked at the core products. What are the core products? And on top of that, do you have any new products in development? Because we are constantly developing products, but at the same time, so are the factories. The factories are developing products for customers in Brazil, in Japan, in their domestic Chinese market. And if we're just supplying customers in the US, I might just say to my supplier, hey, I'm looking at developing new products for 2022, 2023. What have you been working on? Is there anything that we can order? And then they're happy because if they're developing a product and they're sharing it with you, they're getting orders for that new development from a customer that they already supply. So they're basically increasing their profitability with one customer by offering you new products. So that would be my top 7 questions in order to get the best results. I'm not sure if you want to take a photo of that. And you have to be careful of the right timing to ask these questions as well. You don't have to copy and paste that and send that in one email and then they just reply it one by one. There will be a right time to ask these sort of questions, and then the factory will also respect you for asking these sort of questions as well, because if you're asking about their production lines and who are the biggest customers and what inspections have you done, then they're like, well, this is a customer which really understands the buying process, and they'll treat you with a little bit more care and a little bit more respect as well. All right, thank you very much, guys. It's been a pleasure.
All in. Come on in.
Get on stage. Enjoy.
Welcome, everyone. How you all doing? Appreciate you all taking the time today. We've got a great panel here with a bunch of experts that are really going to share all their insights around how to sell, where to source products, and kind of really set everything up. So, and then a little about Kian. Obviously, we've all been thinking about supply chain a lot more than we've ever had in our lives. Everything from inflation to things that are going on in e-commerce. Would love to kind of just get a sense of, where the state of the world is in that sense. Anything that you actually think that was a positive out of the challenges that we're seeing?
For sure. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's faced supply chain issues in the last year, but one of the big benefits of that is that it's really forced us to focus on our supply chain and see where can we make those marginal gains, because I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago people are like, okay, I'm sourcing from China, I've got my product, I've got my price, it's shipping, right, everything's cool, now I'm going to focus on other aspects of the business. But because now there are so many issues with supply chain, we've all had to now focus on it in depth. And what I've noticed from a lot of sellers is that, a lot of them actually outgrow their supplier, because, when you first start selling on Shopify, you first start selling on sourcing from Alibaba, you get that low minimum order quantity, 200, 300 pieces, but then you actually scale your business, and then you get to 2,000 units, 3,000 units a month. But a lot of people don't actually shop around. They don't actually see am I getting the best supplier here? Am I getting the best quality? Am I getting the best price? But with all the supply chain issues that we've had, it's really put the laser focus on our supply chain to be well, can I be getting it at a better price? And I think a lot of people consider that the profit in their business comes from their selling price, but it also comes from your buying price. If you were always purchasing a product at $10, but now you can purchase at $8, well, you've now just saved 20% on your cost of goods, which you can put to other aspects of your business as well. So with all the challenges that we've faced, it's so important to identify are we actually sourcing from the best suppliers? And I think for anyone who wants to do that and to shop around, is that it starts with having a specification sheet for your product. It's basically a one-pager. Here's my product, here's the dimensions, here's the materials, here's exactly what it does, here's the certificates that I need. And then being able to send that out to multiple suppliers. And the good thing is, because they've all received the same information, we can now compare their quotes like for like. And before we even negotiate, we know, okay, what is the market price for this product? Because if it's an outdoor furniture chair, for example, you know, we're getting prices like $7.90, $8, $8.10, $8.20, $7.95. So we know it's around that $8 mark. So now we can negotiate from a position of knowledge to be like, right, if I get the price of $6, I know it's too good to be true. And if I get the price of $10, then they're just adding on way higher margin. So we can now use that as a grounds to negotiate. And I'm sure, like, you know, we've all had like logistical and supply chain issues in terms of, you know, the freight and the cost of freight going up so much as well. And that's important because we're not alone. Our competition also have those issues as well. But having a good relationship with your supplier can really help you get out of that. So for example, if the cost of freight was $5,000 a container, but now it's $25,000 a container, let's say it's gone up $20,000, I actually say to my manufacturers, let's split the increase together, because right now it's too expensive for me to ship these products. But if you cover $10,000 of the increase and I cover $10,000 of the increase, then we're in this together, partnership. I can still continue to buy these products. I can still continue to sell these products. And the more I sell, the more units you get, the more orders you get. So working together in partnership, also using your manufacturer as a warehouse facility for them to store your products for you as well. And then, you know, there's all the port issues at LA, but if you talk with your freight forwarder and use a smaller vessel, a smaller shipping line, they can go straight into Oakland with little delays. So there's loads of different things we can do to take advantage of the situation to stand out against our competition.
Yeah. I mean, supply chain always feels like such a tactical thing, but there's so much strategy that goes into it that could really kind of set up your business. You know, everything from sourcing, the price of what you get it for. Every point that you make, you could either add profit to yourself or take those dollars and reinvest it from a paid marketing standpoint if you've got that formula down.
Absolutely.
The other kind of challenge when it comes to supply chain, and everyone kind of gets worried, is having kind of all your eggs in one basket, right? And anytime someone thinks supply chain, first country that comes out is China. You know, obviously, how do you think about that? How should everyone else here think about, you know, diversifying potentially where you source your products, so you give yourself, you know, a little bit of a hedge?
For sure, yeah, great question. And I think that obviously China's like under the microscope in terms of like the import duty rates have gone up. You know, Trump put additional tariffs in 2018. The freight cost has gone up. China had like power outage situation, lockdown situations. So a lot of our supply chain was affected in terms of delivery dates and price. So naturally, a lot of people start to look now outside of China. And I think it's a very important exercise to do, to look, all right, where else can I source my products? But the most important thing is looking at the countries which specialize in the raw material of that product that we want to source. So for example, India are very strong in cotton, canvas, wood, handcraft, those sort of products. So if I know I'm going after that type of product, I know I should be sourcing from India. You know, if it's clothing, I could be looking at Turkey and Bangladesh and countries like that. But, you know, if I'm doing an electronic product and I look at India, well, they don't specialize in that, so I'm actually sourcing it from the wrong place. And then it's great then to compare. But if you don't know, like, well, where's the area which specializes in the raw materials of my particular product, you can literally just type in your product to Alibaba, and Alibaba have been fantastic in bringing in suppliers from other parts of the world into the platform. And whatever product you're looking at, if you just hit search on the left side of the screen, it brings up the number of results per country. So if it's like a plastic kitchen Tupperware, like Thailand might have like 350 results. If it's a leather jacket, Pakistan might have like 20,000 results. So you can use that information to be like, okay, cool, these are the areas which I need to source from. And there's also a fantastic website, completely free, called importyeti.com. And there you can just type in the market leader of your competition and then hit search, and it pulls up all the shipping records of any shipments which have gone into America for that brand. Wow. And then as a result from that shipping document, you can see who is the supplier and you can contact them directly. So I've been using that. But then I think it's also important to, once you have found those suppliers, identify, can they hit the production capacity which you require? Because China's got such a fantastic infrastructure, low-cost, skilled workforce that if we need 10,000 units of something, it can be delivered to us within 60 days. But maybe if we're doing that from Mexico or from Turkey, it might take 6 months. So it's very important to know what their capabilities are before getting into a business relationship with them.
No, I think that's a super important point, and I think we kind of see this as well. One big part of Thrasio is we've got a team that just creates our original products, and we'll create about anywhere between 200 to 400 products this year. And one of the things that always comes up is timing, and I think you laid it out. One product you could easily source and get it delivered in 6 weeks. Another product you might source and get it delivered in 6 months, right? So how do we kind of think, from the audience perspective and so on and so forth, how much of that planning is going ahead, right? So, hey, we're in March now. Are you planning for December already, or are you planning for next year? How you kind of think about the events that go?
Yeah, it's very interesting because I think it purely depends on the category of product that you're doing, right? So like clothing is like very seasonal. If you're doing like winter gloves or something for Valentine's Day, like your key selling points that you need to hit. But in this game as well, like speed to market is so important as well. So if you notice a hot product, you have to act on it fast, and you have to be able to talk to your supplier to be like, are you holding stock of this product? Can I ship it right now? Can I have customized packaging? Or if it's something that you're developing with innovation, you have a little bit more time and a little bit more window of opportunity, but it's so important to understand what is your supplier's capabilities before you get into that.
Absolutely. And
All right, so we're here at day 2 Affiliate World, bumped into the one and only Dan Ashburn.
Hey guys.
So, Dan, what's your thoughts about the event so far? I mean, this is obviously a lot more like your world than it is mine. Like, have you seen like some really cool companies? Like, what sort of, what's caught your eye? What's caught your attention? What are you seeing that's happening here that you're going to take into your plans for 2022?
It's funny, I don't think people know that I actually came from this world. Like, I was a media buyer before I was on Amazon. I was in sort of digital marketing off of Amazon before I was in Amazon. And I've kind of spent the last 6 or 7 years heavily focused in Amazon and kind of took a step back from this world. But I've always had my eye on what people are doing off Amazon, because all of those strategies and those tactics and all those called innovative things that are taking place off of Amazon often can be applied to Amazon as a platform, and often come through to Amazon within sort of 2 years later than they're being pioneered off of Amazon. People need to figure out how to sort of drive on the platform. So coming here this week has been really refreshing actually, because one, it's kind of bringing me back to my grassroots. 2, it's kind of confirming ideas of strategy and everything I have on Amazon. And 3, I've picked up a bunch of stuff since things like the Facebook iOS update and other marketing sort of major updates and policy changes in the last year or so that we can learn from as Amazon sellers, and we can actually apply to the platform to accelerate growth. And with Amazon's sort of new renewed focus on external traffic and bringing external traffic and Amazon together as a platform, I think there's amazing opportunity for sellers to kind of not get distracted, but start taking inspiration from this stuff that's happening at a much larger scale off the platform.
Yeah, and Dan's got basically eyes and ears in every aspect of the business as well, because he's an expert on Amazon, expert SEO, expert in affiliation. There's not much this guy can't do, so he's like a kid in a toy store walking around, meeting with all these different speakers and companies, and listening to the content there as well. So you enjoyed the show so far?
Yeah, loving it. I think with anything like this, even though it's like not directly our market or directly applicable to us, being able to read between the lines, it kind of gets the creative juices flowing, and yeah, I enjoy that. And then meeting some of the companies here with like technology is advancing so quickly, and some of the stuff that they're doing here is just like, wow, you can actually use technology and data to do that. And it's just an exciting time, not just for us on Amazon, in broader e-com, but just in the whole digital advancement of kind of growth, marketing and business as a whole. And I think that's really well represented here for sure.
Awesome. Dan, thank you so much for joining.
Boom.
See you soon.
Cheers, guys.
All right, guys, we're almost at the end of day 2 of Affiliate World Dubai. It's been so much fun, doing the breakout stage and being on the panel at the main stage was really, really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, this vlog. It's the first time I've done a vlog like this. So if you want to see more content like this, if you want to see more vlogs and other sort of events that I go to, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll definitely capture more of that footage for you guys. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you sort of learned a little bit about what goes on at these types of events, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. All the best.